Although because, Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Finance got up and started to move the motion to close the debate. And that is his fundamental right as the Minister of Finance. We are all equals here in this house, you know. Different, whether
Dr. Mitchell.
Minister,
Dr. Mitchell.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. This is a serious statement, Mr. Speaker, here. And I really wish that we need to obey the rules of the House.
Members of the opposition, who are members of the New National Party, walked out of Parliament while the Prime Minister was wrapping up the 2025 budget debate, citing violations on the government side of Section 40 of the Standing Order.
Basically, I think the Speaker is the number one defaulter in all this. He clearly does not have a clue of the rules, of the fundamental rules of the House. You are supposed to be the umpire in the Parliament, but you are not. Deacon is running the Parliament. If it's a cabinet that he has, I'm not member of Deacon's cabinet. You heard him said inside there. I don't know if you heard him. He said he's giving me a few minutes to come in to give me a chance to speak. He wants to give me a chance to speak. Come in, he couldn't even insult him. The one rule I will always tell all young parliamentarians, the most important variable in successful politics is humility. This Prime Minister has no sense of humility or empathy or love for people. He believes he's the boss and he can do what he wants.
Somebody would have to explain that to me so that I could be comfortable. It means that somebody outside the chamber was calling the shots inside the chamber. And that is the frightening thing, that somebody could stay outside of the chamber and decide what happens in there. And that is frightening. To a democracy, it's frightening. And so there's only one thing we expected. As the Speaker rightfully acknowledged the member who would have presented the debate, the budget, to stand and to begin the conclusion of the budget. Well, quite obviously, I cannot account for what happened thereafter.
Finance Minister Dennis Cornwall was on the floor when he was stopped by the Speaker and ordered that Cornwall joined him and the clerk for a discussion. After the discussion, Cornwall returned to his seat and continued with his presentation. But after approximately 5 minutes, the Speaker recessed the session and announced that there is an issue to be resolved and there is need for a 3-minute break. Following the break, the Speaker announced that he called the recess because he observed that the member for St. George Northwest and St. David were yet to make their presentations, and then called on the Prime Minister to begin his contribution. During that time, the opposition was in caucus, and when they returned, MP Dr. Keith Mitchell stood up on a point of order to inquire what was happening because the standing order was in violation. This led to the Speaker reading Section 40, subsection 5. He said that the Prime Minister will be closing the debate because he made the decision.
Now, let me just read it for the benefit of the House, right? We're talking about the standing orders. And you will see it's not the Minister, it's the Prime Minister who made the decision. I'll read what the standing order says. I'll read it for the hearing of everyone.
Mr.
No, Dr. Mitchell, the Speaker is on the floor. Let me do what I said I'm doing.
Well, Mr. Speaker, you're getting mad with me.
No, I'm getting mad with you.
Yeah, well,
I'm on the floor.
Mr. Speaker.
Dr. Mitchell, let me read. I'm reading the rules.
Mr. Speaker, you're an umpire.
Dr. Mitchell, I'm reading the rules. Allow me to.
An umpire. You are not a member of the government.
Dr. Mitchell, standing orders 40, subsection 5. I want everybody to listen. The Minister finally concluding the debate, whether the Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance, or any other minister designated by the Prime Minister, may speak for 1.5 hours in addition to his earlier speech on the budget, if he had already so spoken.
The opposition said a decision will be made after they meet. Supporters outside the compound is calling for the Speaker to be removed from his position.
Well, we as a party, and of course the leader of the opposition, is right there, as you realize, will in fact meet, and we'll decide what action we will take according to the number of things that we can do to literally embarrass the government and bring this whole issue before the public space, because I think this is the parliament of the country. That's the highest institution of the land, and it cannot be subservient to the cabinet of the country or the prime minister or anybody, any member.
The speaker has to go. G-O-Go. 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 The speaker has to go. G-O-Go.
Christina John, GBN News.